Is it?
Not with this.
GPS.
GPS.
And then just go out like that. Right, I'm a bit harassed because this morning I was on the top of Rosebery Topping at 11:30 with a group of delightful Year 3 children. And there's one of them, before we went up there, before we did that, we've been working on a project at a few North Yorkshire schools. It is going to end up in case studies and all sorts of stuff coming out, and I'll tell you a bit about that in a minute. But what was great about this is we're all told to bring cameras, and guess what she brought? Mobile phone. And the teacher said, right, okay, you know you're not using it as a mobile. Yeah, that's fine. You know, we're not making calls all the way up. And so she's taking a picture of Rosebery Topping, and I took a picture of her. Before that, we were doing a bit of geocaching, and you haven't had a go at geocaching. You know, really good way of extending your outdoor learning. And the teacher had put various boxes around with clues in and questions that were all related to the work they're doing around mountains and so on. And then in little groups they were having a go at that. And there'll be more about that coming on our blog and so on. But what really, this was that they actually had a whole range of things they were doing. So like a menu and the children could choose, the groups could choose what they're going to do. So they're just doing different things. And there they are. That's them trying to find the clue that was hidden. Yes, it was hidden in the gorse bushes, and yes, somebody did manage to cut themselves on it. So there you go. Right. So I've got some bit.ly links, and I've done a bundle with some things on. We've got a blog. There's not a lot on it at the moment. There's a few things, mostly about Rosebery. And we've been using various things. So it's been a bit experimental. So I've broken the rule a bit. It is a bit blue skyish in the sense of what are the possibilities and what's worth using. The thing that's proven most popular with the teachers and children alike are little GPS trackers. Now I got these for 20 quid from Maplin. They are about 40 quid now, but you may well find, and there are other ones. And that's simply you switch it on, and it records your trail. But what's really nice about it is it comes with free software that will work with any GPS trail. And I've seen some work that other schools have done, so this is nothing to do with our project, but it gave us a bit of inspiration. Because when you put your trail in, what you can do is you can link images to particular parts of your trail. And if you put the timestamp, it uses the timestamp on the GPS and the timestamp on the image to match them up. This is Nonnington School in Kent, and what they've done is a virtual sculpture trail. So they were doing a little village study, and they went around all the different places, and then each child has designed a site-specific sculpture, and they tell you how they're going to put it, where they're going to put it, why it's going there, and what they would make it out of. And they did said on their site that the children then went on to make models of them, but I don't think they ever got actually right. But I thought that was a really nice idea, and right, we can do stuff with this. So that has definitely been the quickest win for us. This is Leyland Primary Bike Club, where a marvellous, she's actually a high HLTA, but she's just absolutely fantastic. Mandy Wilson, Leyland's a long way from Leeds. She couldn't come, and I did say, but I want to mention her. That's Mandy there. She just does amazing stuff all the time with all sorts of different things. But they have an after-school bike club. They're in Wensleydale, great place to go for a ride. So they're on this site. They also have a blog. I'm not going to show you that now, but what they have done is using that stuck on the bike, and it's quite nice because it's got little rubbery bits. You just put a cable tie, attach that to handlebars, and I hit the wrong link. That should open. Right, so what this will show you there, this is their bike trail. So this is kind of familiar stuff to you, because if you've got an iPhone or whatever, you go out jogging. I know I've seen doodles sometimes say, oh, I've run so many miles, so many minutes. So I've walked half that distance in 6 times the time. Anyway, but what's nice about this is you've got different setups. So in terms of like healthy schools and that, you could have this. It's a relatively short, but I like the way they've chosen the car for a mountain bike, right? Well, good. But you can have all these graphs and stuff like that. So it's just a nice way of recording and sharing things. You could do things, and I have done things like, getting them to run around the school field, strapped to their head. And whether that's a hat or not, I'm not sure. But how many laps can you do in an X time, or how long does it take you to do X laps? And you can stick it online and share it. You want to. So that has been that has gone down really, really well with them. There is the Kent site, which I used a lot. They've got this really good, it might come up in a minute, a 6-page guide about how to use this stuff and set up, which I found really useful. In fact, it was Mandy who found it. I put some links to some stuff. I hadn't found this particular thing. He said, hey, it's a really good guide. Because I said, oh, I'll have to write you a guide. And hey, the wheel had already been invented, so that was great. So sharing is fantastic. So I recommend that. And that links just the site to the software. It does seem to work better, but it does work with any other GPS thing. The phone, One of the things we've been doing, as well as using that, we've been using these kind of things. And what I like about these is that you can download free open street maps and put them on Garmin. So you don't have to buy the expensive maps, although they were about 120 quid, the ones we got. And watch this space, and I'll put that link back up here if you want to write it down. There it is. Well, that's got all the links on it, and we will be producing some on the blog and case studies and how-to guides and all that sort of stuff.